Welcome to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. If President William Ruto thought that Generation Z was going to take selfie and they were going to get into Java and take some sandwich for just a day, and then it will be business as usual, then he was wrong. Because this group is so much determined that they must emancipate our country from the hands of the oppressors. They thronged the streets and the government watched, and they could not believe the numbers and the determination. It was very clear that the government was not going to sit back and watch. They unleashed the police on them, but God was on their side because tear gas that was supposed to be used on them exploded on the police officers, and we have one who is still in Nairobi hospital. He will soon undergo amputation surgery because of the mess. But this generation is on social media and they have organized for a mega demonstration tomorrow. And this time round, it is not going to be only in the Nairobi CBD. They are planning to hold the demonstrations in Kisumu, in Mombasa, in Nanyuki, major and minor cities. And with this call, people like Dennis Itumbi were not going to sit down and watch. They have begun their propaganda and fears at the same time. Itumbi took to his social media page and was saying that there is a section of civil society best known as evil society. They are back. They want us to believe the protests are not financed. Unfortunately, today on JKL, they just confirmed who the real planners are. And now we know the financials. Now, YouTube is referring to a moment in JKL when somebody there asked Baba Wino for some money. But that is not even what I want to talk about here. There is a source called Edgar. And Edgar is saying this: sources close to Dennis Itumbi have authoritatively confirmed to me that he is organizing a parallel demonstration to counter the reject finance bill, but his motive is to destroy property so that the police can have grounds to use excessive force. Youths will be paid between 500 to 1,000 shillings. This is not something new. These are old methods that they have used before. In every demonstration, we have seen those who are opposing those demonstrations even buying t-shirts. Sometimes back, Mike Sonko told us that they used to buy t-shirts and they will print them ODM and they will cause mayhem or political havoc somewhere so that it could be blamed on the ODM side. This time round, there is no political trajectory that this is taking. And this is why people are saying that Raila did the best thing by ensuring that he was not leading the demonstrations, because they would have targeted Raila supporters. They would have gone to Kisumu to retrieve people and beat there. But then I want you to look at this. Someone is saying to Siuziwe Woga, Hanifa is cautioning people that, guys, please do not fall Itumbi's tricks. Do not get triggered and entertain him. This is so predictable. Wewe mzee kesho tuko street, relax. This is one of the activists, and it's saying that we can always predict Itumbi. They were not going to sit back and watch. And you know, when there is news going on that some people are paid. I remember there was a time we were going for demonstrations, and then we could hear such rumor that, you know, people are paid 1,000, 2,000, and we were wondering, now why should I waste my time going there to inhale that tear gas when some people are being paid. Yet it was mere propaganda just to start creating tension. Then you look at your fella and you feel like now that he has bought the sunny water, maybe he was paid and you are not paid, and then you give up and say, yeah, channel. So this is meant to, start demoralizing people. It's the same narrative that Ngunyi Tai is saying, that you cannot go to the streets to demonstrate and then you get into Java to eat. I mean, there is no law that is guiding. When you are hungry and you have some money, you can take a bite. And someone was also asking that what is wrong in sponsoring the demonstrations? After all, our common enemy is a government that is not listening to the people. I like the way one person is also putting it, that yes, the demonstrations, these demonstrations are sponsored. They are sponsored by lack of employment, sponsored by high taxes, sponsored by lack of basic commodities, high, the skyrocketing, level of even meeting education. Yes, and he's saying those are the things that have sponsored these demonstrations. But then let's go back to Itumbi. Edgar is revealing that these are reliable sources. They want to ensure, because the only way they can stop the demonstrations is by using excessive force. And the first demonstration was so peaceful that they did not even know how they could approach it. There was no any loophole. There was no any justification. And so the only way is to take some, allow me to use this word, some not very wise, I almost say it, yeah, some not very wise people who still listen to the government when people are fighting for the rights of all, to go and stage a parallel demonstration so that these people would destroy property, these people would cause havoc. And you know what they want? The same thing that Dennis Itumbi is saying, he now wants to attach a politician into it. And I'm sure you will hear Dennis Itumbi trying, because the way the trajectory is taking, the vector is pointing, I know he's pointing to Babu Wino, because on JFKL, someone asked for money from Babu Wino. And it is Babu who has, even the other day, he said, you go to the streets, we will join you. So I know he wants to say that people like Babu Wino are the ones sponsoring this. We don't care. Let me just say that. Whether it is sponsored or not, let us look at the reason why people are on the streets. Whether they have been paid millions, whether they've been paid thousands, like Itumbi is saying, it doesn't matter. All that matters is that people are fighting for their rights. In the Constitution, we have the right to peaceful possession and picketing. The only worry should be, is Dennis Itumbi planning a parallel demonstration? And when he's planning, you will see them being protected by the police. We've seen this before. And they want to intimidate this generation. And activists are there, young lawyers are there, people are going to be there. Instead of wasting a lot of energy, wasting a lot of tear gas, I mean, why can't this government just sit down and listen to the people? It is the people you want to tax, and they are the ones telling you, please. During the process of public participation, they gave their views. Please listen to them. We are not just going to take the reduction on, or the way they told us that they abandoned um, levies and taxes on bread, on motor vehicle, on diapers, on electronic money transfer. No, there is more than meets the eye. And tomorrow, if anything happens to anybody on the street, then we will follow it up with Itumbi. In some quarters, Itumbi was asking that the police release those who had been arrested. But on the same breath, we are being told that he wants to sponsor this. This is the worst thing that Itumbi can do, because we are fighting for every person. But as Hanifa says it, wasituuzie uoga. You remember what was trending? When we lose our fear, they lose their strength. It's that easy. But when we accept the fear, they will gain the strength. I mean, I saw a member of parliament saying that William Ruto is just one person. We are millions of Kenyans who should listen to the other. And he was saying that let us not fear, let us go to the streets. We are not going to entertain people who want to sponsor. We don't want to lose any blood on the when we demonstrate. It has been peaceful, and the invitation was just carry a placard, and a placard is not a weapon. So even the police will be on the streets. We pray that if you unleash terror on people, let more tear gas explode on your face. Already we have a police officer who is suffering in his hospital because tear gas exploded and took away his forearms. We are praying as a nation that if there is any police officer who will be used by this regime to go and kill people on the street, let that tear gas explode on you. Remember, you have a family. You will walk out of your house bidding your wife or your husband farewell or bye, bidding your children as they go to school. But if you try, and we pray that you fall into Dennis Itumbi's trap, let God punish you. To the people who will be given money to go and stage a parallel demonstration, let it be known to you that you will carry that burden. We also pray that you also suffer in the same process, because people are determined. They are fighting for a better cause. And I know there are other plans. This one has just been revealed, but I know there will be more. But what was Uzio Woga? Let them go for it. It will be the mega one. If William Ruto thought that the Generation Z was going to play around, he better think twice.